Hello and welcome to another video. As you can see, we are rebooting the switch, and today we are going to talk about ProAV mode on UniFi switches in the middle of a disaster.
So as we begin with the video, I do want to mention this is probably going to be a part 1 video. I'm waiting to kind of finish up with Ubiquiti support and figure out what the exact issue was. But this video is going to walk you through kind of the whole process I'm going through troubleshooting this network and all the issues that we're having with ProAV mode on the Ubiquiti switches. So without further ado, let's begin.
So ProAV mode. We are using ProAV mode here at this site for some Dante stuff and some q-sys stuff.
So let me talk about ProAV mode and what it actually does. It's a great way for the switch to optimize unified play, Dante, q-sys, NDI, SDVoE, Shure, AES67, and Crestron traffic on the switch itself. And this is on the port level. This is not the network level. So this will optimize the ports for use on the switches, and it'll make it so that the traffic from the device to the switch is optimized and allowed, and it'll set the quality of service settings accordingly. So it'll prioritize certain traffic, deprioritize other traffic, and make it the best experience for professional AV applications even better on Ubiquiti switches. This is outside of the network settings you should have for those devices, but ProAV mode is just a way for Ubiquiti to kind of optimize it on the switch level.
So initially, when q-sys was installed, we started having issues with multicast traffic and that kind of thing on layer 2 or V2 of multicast. And you can see that on Dante controller, you know, when your clock was set to the primary V2 multicast, that was different from our V1 multicast clock. Narrowed that down to some q-sys PTP settings. Once I changed those clock settings, things seem to be doing better.
So one note that I do want to mention here with q-sys, we are using q-sys audio at the site, but we are using the q-sys core to be the Dante clock for the Dante network. So the q-sys core can function as a Dante clock, and it makes sense to use that as a Dante clock because the device is always on, always connected to the network. And if that is the Dante clock, it'll make it easier as well for the q-sys audio network that will hopefully be able to have the same clock source for V1 on the Dante network, V2 on the q-sys network.
We're here today. I have installed a new 24-port Pro Max switch. I'm hoping to kind of solve a lot of our issues we're having with multicast, Dante, and that stuff, but I feel like it has done anything but that. And I've talked to many support people, different support people. Some are very helpful, some are not helpful. This site happens to be a church, so it's very vital for the network to be working on Sunday. It is Friday afternoon. I am tired. I do not want to be here working on this right now, but that is the nature of what I'm doing for them. I'm making sure their network is reliable for Sunday services. So with that being said, what we're seeing here is, actually, let me just show you. So you'll see here on the audio console, you'll see that sometimes you will see a fader here metering, and sometimes you won't. So that is literally due to the network dropping out. If we go to our Dante clock events here, actually I need to hide this. So you will see that we have a ton of subnet mismatches, which should not be related to this whatsoever, but apparently it is. We have elevation at clock leader for the auditorium q-sys core, and that always should be the clock leader. But there's times here that you'll see elevation at clock leader is the green room for some reason. That is not set anywhere in our clock settings. You'll see the preferred leader is the auditorium q-sys core, so there's zero reason that should be elevated to the leader, or the green room should be at least. So obviously we are experiencing some issues there with multicast specifically. Ubiquiti support said they got to get back to me. They have to talk to their team of engineers. That's where we're at now. And I've talked to other people that have used ProAV mode. I've talked to an integrator that even uses ProAV mode at churches, and they seem like they have the same just message that they love Ubiquiti for everything else, but still for Dante stuff and for Pro stuff like that, it's just a hard sell. And I don't think we're going to go back at this site from using Ubiquiti for ProAV stuff. We'll continue using it, but it does take some fine tuning. It takes some maintenance. You have to know what you're doing with it, and I guess that's just part of the learning curve for this network here. You got to know what settings to and not to use for ProAV mode for it to work, and you also have to be here and available to troubleshoot it when it doesn't work. And that's part of the thing. That's the reason why I left the other switch down in the rack, because I expect to have issues at this point. So that's the update.
Okay, so we're back to where we are in present time. So I want to talk about what we've troubleshooted, we being me and the Ubiquiti support person, we have tried spanning tree settings. So we've adjusted spanning tree, got that optimized. We changed fast leave, so I did not have fast leave on. Turning in fast leave on actually made the network worse for a while, I would say. But then eventually I was able to get that turned back on. Like I turned it off and then I eventually turned it back on, and that is now something we are able to have inside of the network. And we also have a query switch set up for the Dante network. A lot of this stuff is like right on the brim of like what I understand. But I will say setting that switch, setting the query switch did help. So one thing with this stuff, with the multicast stuff, is like once you make a change, it's not going to be an instant fix. A lot of these settings are going to fine tune the amount of packets that are allowed per second, like quality of service will, and that will take some time to kind of recycle the packets through, get new packets in, especially some multicast packets like have a starting packet and stuff that you got to wait for. To reset kind of how often they send packets, from what I understand. So that is just part of the nature of this troubleshooting. I am still talking with Ubiquiti support. We send a message back and forth probably every day or so at this point. They're just having me try different settings. They had me disable ProAV mode on a few ports and set manual quality of service settings with no luck, and that actually decreased the performance of the network. So that's kind of where I'm just posting this video. This is where we are now. I'm hoping that we can get to a better spot in the future, and I'm confident that we'll be able to get there. But as of now, ProAV mode is still a little half-baked. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think Ubiquiti can really come through and provide a really great ProAV experience, but for these early setups, it's going to take some work to fine-tune it. Part of the issue, from what the guy made it sound like from Ubiquiti, was that since we were using Yamaha devices, they handled Dante differently. So because of that, there's more packets on our network, and especially with q-sys being involved now, there's just a ton of packets on our Dante network. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are now with all of the troubleshooting. If you have any questions, comments, insights into part of the issues we may be having, please leave a comment down below. I'm happy to hear what you had to say. I'm hoping that we can get this resolved with Ubiquiti, and I'll make a part 2 once it is resolved. It could just be some fine tuning that Ubiquiti has to do in their ProAV mode specifically, or it could be something with the Dante network configuration like the q-sys PTP settings or something on our end as well. But whatever it is, I will let you know in a follow-up video sometime in the future. I do want to also add, if you want to become a channel member, you can get early access to new videos. So you'll see the part 2 video probably way earlier than everybody else will. It's only 99 cents a month, and basically you just get early access to videos and some other benefits like that. So if you want to check it out, the link is probably below this video. So yeah, that's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.